codex, there's something that strikes me because of my familiarity with this subject. Europe imports peanuts from India, groundnut, hand-picked selected groundnut.
Yes.
Tolerance limit for US peanut is 15 ppb. Tolerance limit for Indian peanut is 4 ppb, with B1 with 2 ppb. This is simply our standards are in conflict with, are not consistent with what the US is able to get away in codex. Would that also fall under the purview of the Food Safety and Standards Authority, or should it go to some other authority to question and bring about an equivalence?
Okay. Many times it used to happen. I'll give a little background.
Yeah.
Developing countries have not played a major role in codex discussions.
Yeah.
Developing countries have started playing a role in codex discussions only over the last 12 to 15 years. Or I would say 10 years. Uske pehle, most of the time the developed countries were participating in codex discussions and they were framing the rules and regulations and standards according to what they wanted. And let me also tell you, please do a little research. I have some experience of this line. Discussions in codex on a particular standard have most of the time started after the developed countries had already framed their national standards. हमने अपना स्टैंडर्ड पहले ही बना लिया, उसके बाद हम कोडेक्स में गए हैं. उसके बाद कोडेक्स में हमने उसको उस पे डिस्कशन शुरू किया. So now, under the SPS agreement, while countries are obliged to harmonize with codex, they have the option of deviating from codex provided there is a scientific justification. That is what the SPS agreement says. They have already done this risk assessment before that. They have created a standard. For example, in peanuts for further processing 8 parts per billion, peanuts for direct consumption 4. ये EU का standard है. When the codex agreed on 15 ppb,
Yeah.
they noted their reservation in the report. They said, we do not agree with this, this is our standard. A lot of peanuts are not only exported by India but by other developing countries. Codex had set a standard of 15 and 10. Let me tell you, it was only after Kofi Annan spoke about this issue when he said that the cost of compliance according to the EU standard for peanuts is more than the economy of Africa. It was only then that EU changed it to 10. Whereas the codex standard is 15 for further processing. You know what is India's standard for aflatoxins? 30. Our peanuts that we all eat are not fit for bird consumption in Europe. They reject it even for bird consumption. और हम लोग खाते हैं उसको आराम से, क्योंकि हमको मालूम नहीं है कि एफ्लाटॉक्सिन कौन से पीनट्स में आ रहा है. हमने कभी अवेयरनेस भी क्रिएट नहीं की इसके बारे में, जानते भी नहीं. यूरोप में कंज्यूमर मूवमेंट इज वेरी वेरी स्ट्रांग. It is not fit for bird consumption. A huge amount of work has been done by the Commerce Ministry to control aflatoxin levels for exports only, not in the domestic market. We have now revised our standards, which is going to be notified at 15 ppb, which is according to the, और उस पे भी अभी हल्ला मचना शुरू हो गया है कि 15 कैसे इंडिया में इंप्लीमेंट होगा, हमारे फार्मिंग कंडीशंस डिफरेंट है। वो फार्मिंग कंडीशंस डिफरेंट है तो इसलिए कंज्यूमर सफर करेगा, और फार्मिंग कंडीशंस को इंप्रूव करो, implement best practices at the field level. How long and for how many decades you can continue to say कि हमारे यहाँ ये इंप्लीमेंट नहीं हो सकता है इसलिए स्टैंडर्ड ऐसा होना चाहिए, ये तो कोई बात नहीं है ना। So just to respond to this aflatoxin issue,
and if that were to result